Hey guys, so as you probably know, the new Mario Kart World game was just released on the Switch 2 recently. So I was able to get a Switch 2 at launch, and I started playing this game on day 1, and right now it's June 15th, so it's been 10 days since I started playing this game. And I've waited this long to make any videos on it or state my opinions really, because I really just wanted to digest this game fully and really actually play the game for a while before I give any kind of opinions on it or make any kind of content on the game. This game really has a lot to offer and there's a lot to digest with it, so I didn't want to let my initial reactions cloud my actual opinions of the game here. So there is a lot of things to talk about with this game, and I am doing this video completely unscripted. I actually just hopped off of the Mario Kart game and hopped over here onto my computer, and I'm ready to film this video and actually give my opinions on the game, I feel like. I've had enough time to play it where I've gotten pretty good at the game, at least relative to what the current skill levels are like at this game. And this game surprisingly has a really high skill ceiling, so everyone, including myself, is going to continually be getting better over the next few months and even the next years at this game. So just for a little bit of a background on me, I was a competitive Mario Kart Wii player from around 2011 to 2015 or so. And I was in multiple different clans over that period. I played many different clan wars and different events for competitive Mario Kart Wii, and almost on a daily basis I was playing in pro worldwide lobbies where, pretty much everyone in there has 9,000 plus VR, and those races are super cutthroat there. And that was a very fun time of my life there, playing competitive Mario Kart Wii. I have not found any other game that can actually provide that level of excitement and fun in such a skill-based environment like that. So coming into Mario Kart World, it has been 11 years since we've had our most recent Mario Kart game. And no, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on the Switch does not count as a Mario Kart game. So needless to say, I have been waiting for a new Mario Kart for a long time now, after 11 years of dealing with Mario Kart 8. And that's why I wanted to wait a while to give my opinion on this game, because there is quite a lot of good things and quite a lot of bad things as well with this game. So let's get a couple things out of the way right away. The driving in this game is actually insanely fun, surprisingly. Coming from MKWii, I really was not expecting much in terms of the driving experience in this game, but Nintendo actually kind of kicked it out of the park with that in this. Just the act of driving itself is fun in this game, in a very different way than Mario Kart Wii, but it is still fun regardless, and that is not something I can say about MK7 or MK8. The way I would describe those games is my skill on day 10 was the same on day 100 and the same on day 500 of that game. Like really, once you get the initial learning curve down for MK7 and MK8, there really isn't too much more there in terms of skill ceiling that you can really reach. Now Mario Kart World, on the other hand, actually has a crazy high skill ceiling, it seems like. With the way that they actually made this game super fun to drive, with the multi-tricking, the grinding, the anti-gravity, all of that stuff actually makes for a super fun driving experience in this game. Whether you're trying to be fast or whether you're just trying to play the game for fun, you can have a lot of fun either way. But then that's going to lead me into the first major problem with this game, and that is that skill does not matter at all online. Your driving ability, your ability to take shortcuts, your ability to grind on rails and switch between the rails successfully, and chaining mini turbos, doing good charge tricks, dodging items, none of that stuff really matters at all online. And that is because this game is so heavily based around bagging and items. The outcome of your entire race is almost completely determined upon which items you pull on lap 3 and which position you're in on lap 3. And most specifically, the last set and the second to last set on lap 3 are the most important item boxes in this entire game. If you're a super skilled driving player and you're able to take the turns super tight, you know exactly which rails to grind on, exactly which shortcuts to take and all that stuff, that really won't do you any good online, because you're going to just get blued and you're going to just get bombarded with items as soon as you get blued. That is a very common thing in this game. As soon as you get blued, you will just get bombarded with items because there's just constant item spam going. It's not like they're targeting the player that got blued. It's just like everyone sees a player that's completely stopped and everyone just decides to hit them because that's just how this game works. Whether you're in second place or third place, if anyone sees a vulnerable player, they're just going to throw their items at them. The online experience of this game can be summed up in 2 words, and those 2 words are item spam. There's 24 players in each race at once, and each player has 2 item slots. So that is about 48 items in play at all times, and that is just items in the inventory. That doesn't account for items that are being chained and being spammed right before item sets, or any ground bananas or ground shells or anything like that. So 48 items in the inventory at all times. Mario Kart Wii had 1 item slot and 12 players, so you had 12 items in play at all times. So there is 4 times as many items in play at all times in this game as there was in Mario Kart Wii. And remember when MKWii came out and there were all these videos about people getting Mario Karted in that game, like you get blue shell and then suddenly you get comboed and then you go from first to last place that quickly, and people were so upset about that in MKWii? Well, imagine that and times it by 100, and that's what you've got with Mario Kart World. This isn't even controversial, this is just a fact at this point. It is a terrible decision to front run this game. It's a terrible idea to be in first place at any given time in this game. As a matter of fact, it's not even that good of an idea to try and stay from any place between 2nd and 12th place. Like, ideally, you want to stay in the bottom 5, bottom 6 slots and wait until either there's a really good cut somewhere in the middle or towards the end of lap 3, or there's a double item box, and then you chain your items and get the double item box and try to take whatever little shortcuts are available with any kind of mushrooms or whatever you pull. And that is how you win this game. It's almost ridiculous. It's almost comical how this game plays. And the sad thing is, I'm not even exaggerating on this. There is hundreds of videos out there at this point of people just being in 24th place and then pulling a golden mushroom and triple mushrooms last set on lap 3, taking a major cut and then just passing everyone at once on the last set. Despite how good your driving abilities can be at this game, it is almost impossible to break away. Regardless of what kind of shortcuts you're taking, what kind of skill level you have, it seems like everyone goes at the same speed in this game. I'll be in pro lobbies with people in this game on lap 1 before any of the item spam really got started yet, and we'll be seeing people doing rail cuts and taking all these shortcuts and things, and it seems like you just essentially go the same speed as everyone else. The pack is somehow just always tight. I don't really know how to put that or why it's always the case, but it always seems like the pack is just insanely tight in this game. And that's why the strategy I'm talking about is just always viable and just always your safest bet, because you're going to get bombarded if you stay in the middle of this pack, and you know that there's going to be people coming up with goldens and things at the end anyway. You might as well just be one of them. So yeah, that's got to be my biggest issue with this game, is just simply how it plays. And the entire outcome of your race is determined by whether you just get hit by some random item when you're goldening up with the golden that you got from the last set, and when you're taking a cut with it, if you just get hit with some random item, or whether you're able to just cleanly overtake everyone and get into first, or whether the pack is just slightly spread out far enough that you get 3rd or 4th instead of first. It's just a giant roulette wheel. It's not something that's very predictable or very repeatable. I mean, the strategy that I'm talking about is the most repeatable strategy, but then again, it's just, you're basically just betting on getting good items in the back and then hoping that you can pass everyone at the end. I don't know. It's just, it doesn't feel like Mario Kart. It doesn't feel like you get rewarded for doing the good things. It feels like you get rewarded for actually sucking at the game and then just getting lucky at the end. But yeah, that's enough of that topic for now. That's going to be something that we're going to be discussing for years down the line, most likely, until Nintendo can actually switch up the strategy in this. But something that I'm seeing a lot of people talking about right now, and something else that I'm not very happy about, is the intermission sections in the online races. This is something I never even expected Nintendo would do, and it's almost insane that they actually went through with this with the final version of the game. The fact that they put these intermission sections as the core racing experience, the primary way that you play Mario Kart Online, is going to include these like 3, 4, 5 minute long intermission straight line highway sections, and then you go to the actual course that you voted for and you play one single lap on the course. And sometimes the highway leading into the course actually like starts you somewhat in the middle of the lap, so sometimes you won't even play a full lap of the course that you voted for. Sometimes you'll only play like 3/4 of a lap because the highway connecting to it like puts you out like at like the second turn of it or something, and then you just play from that turn like to the end of the lap, and that's all you do. You don't do 2 laps around the track, you don't do 3 laps around the track like any traditional Mario Kart. You do a single lap around the track, and sometimes even less than that. And that is your core racing experience. That is the primary online mode for Mario Kart World, and that's actually the only way to do it. So if you get a track that you really like, you're going to have to play like 3 minutes of a straight line highway intermission section with a bunch of item spam and a bunch of luck and other stuff in there. So by the time you even get to your track that you wanted to play on, you might already be in like 15th place with a terrible item, or you could be in first place and then there could be a blue shell that's just about to hit you as soon as you cross over into the actual like track that you were trying to play the whole time. So by the time you even get there, you know, items are already out, the pack is already spread out, like it really doesn't feel like you're actually racing on the track. It's a really strange feeling playing this game online. And that's what's kind of funny about this, is that I actually cannot give you legitimate reviews or opinions of any of the tracks, because I don't know how good the tracks really are that much. I've played the game for like 10 days, and yeah, at this point I have a good idea of the tracks because I've been playing it for 10 days at this point. But that's why I kind of had to wait a while, because if I was going to give you guys a review of this game after like day 3 or day 4, I've probably only done like 2 laps around each of the tracks, because you only play 1 lap of the track every time it gets picked online. And this is literally the biggest issue with the game, I feel like. And this is something like, it's actually kind of funny. Troy, I don't know if you guys watch TWD98, Troy has been crashing out over this. Like, he's been sending tweets to Nintendo about this. He has full videos dedicated to this, and I am completely on board. I agree. We have to do everything in our power to get Nintendo to change this, because not a single person likes this. But before you think that I'm just being overly critical of these straight line sections, I actually like them. I think it has a place in this game. This is a full experience for a Mario Kart game. This Mario Kart game feels truly interconnected, and it really does have a lot of good things going for it. These highway sections, I feel like, are excellent for Grand Prix. This is, like, primarily what Grand Prix should be. It actually makes Grand Prix feel like its own mode, not just like a versus mode where you just happen to play the tracks in order. When you play Grand Prix in this game, you really feel like you are doing a Grand Prix. And I really like that with this. Just the fact that you made this the primary and the only way to play online, it really makes these straight line sections overstay their welcome a little bit more. Because if you had just used these straight line sections in like Grand Prix and in the free roam mode as well, things would be completely different. Or if you even had a mode that was like an option online to play these, that would make it a whole different experience. But the fact that they're forcing us to do these as the only way to play Mario Kart Online, it really just begs the question, why? Why can't we actually play the game that we paid for and actually play these really good tracks online? Because it took me a few days, but now that I've played this game for 10 days, I can tell you all the tracks are really solid, and it would be amazing if we could just play 3 laps of all these tracks. But no, this is Nintendo. But yeah, as you would have guessed, the competitive community has already banned all these straight line sections for competitive play. There is a way to vote for the 3-lap tracks online, and the way to vote for them is to vote for random. Because if you vote for any track that is connected to the current track that you're on, it'll give you the straight line section before giving you a single lap of that track. But if you vote for random, regardless of what track gets picked from that random vote, it will give you a 3-lap track every time. So that is the only way to actually play 3-lap tracks online in this game. And so every pro lobby you go into in this game, almost all of the players are going to be voting for random at this point, because that's just etiquette. And there's even like hashtags going around, like worldwide etiquette and stuff for this. You're supposed to be only voting for random and online in this game, because that's the only way to avoid these straight line sections. The entire community hates it. Everyone hates it. But yet somehow Nintendo thought this would be a good idea to put into the primary racing experience, the only way to play online for this game. So yeah, I feel like those are my most major complaints with this game. So that means for now we can at least talk about some of the things this game does really well, and some of the things that I really like about it. So the battle mode in this game is actually goated. I'm not gonna lie. The battle mode in this game is actually pure skill, and it works really well. I did like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's battle mode because it functions super well, but this is even better. The new mechanics of this game, like the charge tricking, allows you to avoid getting hit by items if you're itemless, but only if you use it correctly, which it's a skill-based tactic. It's definitely not free. And the green shell sniping in this game is super crisp. Like once you learn the speed of the green shells and the angle and all that kind of stuff, and you really kind of get that skill down, green shell sniping becomes a very fun thing in this. I'm at the point in this game where I would actually prefer triple green shells over like a single red shell, because I can probably land 2 out of 3 hits with the greens. You just gotta really calculate them and really like scope out your target. Like DK Pass is a really good battle stage on this one, because you can kind of just see how people are driving, you can see who's drifting, who's not, and then you're able to kind of plan your targets and snipe them out accordingly. And the best part about it is that there's no lag. If you hit a player on your screen, then you get counted as getting the hit. And they also balanced it out a little bit. So if you have a whole bunch of coins, like you're not going to lose half of your coins when you get hit by a single item, which could immediately put you from like first with a giant breakaway into like a mid spot. Like for example, in Mario Kart Wii, if you had 24 coins and second place had 13 coins and then everyone else was just like behind them, if 24 to 13 sounds like a huge breakaway, you got an 11 coin lead, but then all it takes is one item and then you get brought back down from 24 to 12 because it cuts your coins in half, and suddenly you're not even in first anymore after a single item hit. But in this game, so you will lose more, but you will still probably maintain the lead. It might bring you from like 24 coins down to like 18 or something like that, but it's not going to bring you from 24 down to 12. So battle mode in this game actually becomes super skill based, and it's one of my favorite modes, to be honest. And the other major thing that they added into this game is knockout mode online. So the knockout mode actually plays really well with these straight line sections. Like I said, I feel like these straight line sections are good and they have a place in the game. And their place in the game is Grand Prix, Free Roam, and knockout mode. Just don't make it the core online racing experience for like anyone that wants to just play normal Mario Kart. But in the knockout mode, those straight line sections actually work really well. It keeps the pace and it keeps the flow of the whole race going, and the knockout mode really feels like a fun experience. It feels like you're constantly on lap 3 with the way that players get eliminated after every section. So it actually feels like you have to try on each section. Even on the straight line sections, you have to try a little bit towards the end, because if you don't, you're going to get knocked out. Opposed to on normal races, the straight line sections don't matter at all. You're better off just bagging and hoping that you get some good items on the straight line sections to set you up for the actual race. But knockout mode is surprisingly really fun. It's exhilarating, and I have a lot of fun just playing that normally, casually. And also the free roam mode is really fun as well. It's a really cool way that they incorporated all of the missions into like a actual like map, because that was kind of just their gimmick with this, is they're trying to become all modern with the way that they're doing Mario Kart and making the map all interconnected and stuff, which it's cool. It kind of works out really well for this when you just add all of the missions and all the hidden stuff into one giant map, and it solves the itch that a lot of people have wanted for the last few Mario Kart generations. We haven't had a true mission mode since Mario Kart DS, and in Mario Kart Wii we had the tournaments, which were on there when Nintendo WFC was still around, but even those were not the same as the actual missions themselves. But this adds back the missions in the free roam mode. And overall, this game actually has a crazy amount of content to explore. There is so many mechanics that we still have yet to learn and figure out how they work fully. The skill ceiling for this game is going to continue to raise a lot in the future as players get better, and there is a lot of content to explore in the free roam and in the online modes as well, like knockout and battle and the races. It really gives you a nice dynamic experience. They just need to change the races to make them actually races. And that way we would be able to have so many different modes that would all have their own purpose and all fit like what they're trying to do in this game. But right now it feels like we're missing the main experience of Mario Kart, which is just traditional racing without item spam. If they added a 12-player mode with only 3-lap tracks to online, that would definitely be the primary mode that everyone plays. Like, sure, 24 players is a cool gimmick. It was cool that we had 24 players in Mario Kart Wii when Mr. Bean modded that in. But I don't think everyone wants to play 24 players all the time. It's cool, but it's just, it makes the game so item spammy. It makes it just not play really well for traditional Mario Kart. So overall, there is so many really nice things with this game. The tracks are amazing. The music in this game is probably the best in any Mario Kart game. The free roam makes the worlds feel so interconnected and makes this game feel like it really is meant to be. The VR system online is really nice, how they made it like an ELO system now, just like it was in Mario Kart Wii, so you could actually get into skill-based lobbies versus like Mario Kart 7 and Mario Kart 8, where you could just basically play the game and just farm VR. Even if you were a noob in that game, you would gain VR in MK7 and MK8 just by playing it. But in Mario Kart Wii, if you do get above 9,000 VR, that means that you're actually good at the game. But there was no way to tell who's good in MK7 or MK8, because even the noobs that just played the game a lot would have quite a bit of VR, just like the pros that play a lot. But MKWorld has like a more cutthroat VR system, just like Mario Kart Wii. So once the VR starts to regulate itself a few months down the line here with this game, we should be able to get into some really nice pro sessions online. So this game has a lot of potential to be super fun and cater to any audience. Like, this game can cater to the competitive audience with how fun the driving mechanics are, you know, having the straight line charge tricking, the grinding, and just good gameplay overall. And it can cater to the casual audience because you've got the knockout mode, you've got the item spam, 24 players, and it's just an easy to pick up and fun luck-based game. So all encompassing, I really think Nintendo hit it out of the park with this game. I was kind of worried before this game really came out, but to be honest, I'm actually quite happy with it. I'm quite happy with how this game is now. They just do need to fix those two major things I was talking about, the straight line sections being the only way to play online, and make the skill actually be worth something in this game. And just to quickly address the pricing of this game being $80 or whatever, I think it's justified. Let's be completely real. The $60 game standard has been a thing since like the Wii era, and video games have been one of the few things that haven't been hit by inflation like crazy over the past 15 years. So I think it's perfectly justifiable that a game goes from $60 to $80. And especially when you actually buy the game and actually play it and you see how much content is in here, I think your opinion will be swayed a little bit. The older Mario Kart games just had the tracks, but then when you actually play this game and you see that they really had to model all of this and texture all of this and make everything feel fully functional and complete in like a full world, you can kind of see where the development budget comes in. And I think the $80 price tag is justified for a game like this. So yeah, I feel like this game's got a lot of good things going for it, and I'm interested to see what kind of stuff will come in the future when they update this game and make some changes to it. As we know now with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Nintendo's no longer like they used to be, how they would just release a game and then never update it. Like, we can actually have game updates now. Like, we're finally in 2006. Like, come on, Nintendo, you finally did it. So with that being said, I do think there will be some updates for this game in the future that could potentially address a lot of the major downfalls that people have been discussing. If you're watching my video, I'm sure that you have watched other Mario Kart World videos. I don't think this is going to be the first review or discussion of the game that you're watching, so you know the issues I'm talking about. And I really hope that Nintendo takes feedback from the community and fixes these major issues, because this game really has so much to offer, and this could have potential to be the best Mario Kart game if they fix these issues. But for now, the best Mario Kart game still goes to Mario Kart Wii, at least in terms of competitive gameplay and for having like a true skill-based online game. Other than that, I feel like I covered pretty much most of my major points in this video. Of course, there's so many things I could talk about with this game. There are so many things that they did differently than other Mario Kart games. I could go into details on a lot of topics in this game, but the video is already kind of getting up there in length, so I feel like this is a good place to cut it off now. Definitely feel free to leave your comments down below. I want to see what you guys are thinking about this game too. I'm always open to having discussions and hearing others' opinions and things, so definitely feel free to open up some discussions down in the comments below. I may or may not be making some videos for this game in the future. We'll just have to see how things go. But for now, that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys for watching. Leave a like if you found this video interesting. Subscribe if you want more Mario Kart content in the future. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.